Hello, welcome back to your mat. And I'm coming to you from our family's backyard in southern Michigan. We're visiting with them right now as we make our trek south. So for today's class, we're going to do a progressive ladder flow. If you're not sure what that means, don't worry, you'll see as we go along. But we're going to basically layer on poses throughout the class. So it'll build up to one longer flow at the end. So for today's class, for the balance poses, we have a couple in there. A couple blocks or a chair or something to help with your balance might be helpful. Those are optional. You don't have to have those, but you might find those helpful. So we'll get started with a quote by Amit Ray. Yoga means addition of energy, strength, and beauty to body, mind, and soul. So we're going to add poses in along the way, and you'll see. So we're going to go ahead and get started right away at the top of our mat. So go ahead and come to the top of your mat. Just have the blocks nearby as we get to that pose. Where you might need those, I'll let you know. But we're going to start in mountain pose. This is going to be our starting point. And what we're going to do is we're going to run through all of the poses on one side before we go to the other. So just so you know, we will do the other side to balance things out because I have to have balance, like I'm sure most of you would like. So we'll start in mountain. This is our first pose, it's our base pose. Then we're gonna inhale and we're gonna side bend over to the right. So go ahead and bring yourself over to the right here a bit and get a side bend, and then come back to mountain. So now we're gonna add on a pose from there. So we've got mountain pose here. And then we're gonna inhale and side bend over to the right. Exhale, and then inhale, come back up. And now we're gonna come back into a low lunge. So go ahead and bring that right foot back, drop that right knee down, and come into your low lunge. We're gonna stay here for a breath. And then we're gonna step back to the top of our mat, back into mountain. So we're gonna add poses on, but we're gonna go through the sequence as we add. So inhale and go ahead and side bend over to the right. And then you're gonna come back into your low lunge. Stay here for an inhale and an exhale. And then from here, we're gonna do a twist. So we're gonna twist to the left, and we're just gonna sweep that left arm around into a nice wide circle. We're gonna do that twice this first round. So we're gonna have a nice little twist there, opening up. And then you guessed it, we're gonna come back to mountain pose. So go ahead and step forward, back on your top of your mat. Come back to mountain. This is our starting point. So we're gonna add on from there. So go ahead and side bend over to the right. Step that right foot back into your low lunge. Drop that knee. Breathe at your own pace here. I'm going to not cue the breath all the way through. And then you're going to twist to the left, swinging that left arm around. Only once this time. And then we're going to come back. And now we're going to add on. We're going to come into our high lunge. So bring that back knee off the ground and come into high lunge. And settle here for a breath or two this first round, or the first time through this pose. And then step forward on your mat, back to mountain. So now you see where we're going. We're going to continue to layer on and add on more poses. So inhale and exhale, side bend over to the right. And then go ahead and come back up and come back into your low lunge, breathing at your own pace. Come into that nice side twist, circling that arm once to the left, and then go ahead and bring that back knee up and come into your high lunge. Now, here's where the blocks could come in handy. So go ahead and grab those, places at the top of your mat on whatever level you'd like for support. And now we're gonna come forward into a supported with the blocks or unsupported warrior three. I'll do the first round with supported. So I'm gonna have my hands on the blocks, and I'm just gonna rise that back leg up off the ground. So my left leg is straight, my right leg is out behind me into a supported warrior three. Drop that leg back down next to meet your left, and come back up to mountain. And we're going to add on some more here, so you know where we're going now. Come on up, side bend to the right, step back into your low lunge. Remember to breathe at your own pace. Come into your twist to the left, and then into your high crescent lunge. And then come into warrior three, supported or not supported, depending on what works best for you. Hold that for just a moment. And now we're going to do what is called a curtsy squat. So we're just going to bend the left knee and bring that right knee to tap the back of the left knee. And then from there, release that back down, come back into mountain pose. Catch your breath there. We have one more pose we're going to layer on before we move to the other side. All right, you know where we're going now. You know all the poses. Here we go. And if you forget them, don't worry, I'm going to call them all out. So go ahead and side bend over to your right. Come back into your low lunge with your right leg back. Do your twist to the left, circling that arm. Come into your high crescent lunge. And now we're going to come into supported or unsupported. I'm going to do unsupported this time, my warrior three. So you decide what you want to do. And if you come into unsupported, just find that point out in front of you to focus on. Next, the curtsy squat, unsupported or supported. Maybe a little tougher, a little balance challenge here. And then we're just going to simply sit down as gracefully as we can, or ungracefully, and then just take that left leg or that left foot and step it over your right knee. So now we're going to come into a twist. So we're going to twist over to our left. And let all that go now. So we went through the whole sequence all on one side. So as you can see, we were repeating ourselves, but we're layering on another pose each time. And then go ahead, for fun, let's go ahead and do the opposite twist there. Just twist over to the right. And then you guessed it, we're going to come back to the top of our mat in mountain pose to go to the other side. So go ahead, stand tall here. Now you know what to expect. We're going to do that same sequence in that same order on the left. So we're going to add poses in. So start with your mountain pose. And then we're going to add in side bend to the left. Come back to mountain. Adding on with the lunge. Side bend to the left. Step your left foot back, drop that left knee, and come into your low lunge. Make sure you breathe here this first time around. Take an extra breath. And then step forward back into mountain pose. And here we go again. We're going to continue on. Side bend to the left. Step your left foot back, low lunge. And now we're adding the twist. So go ahead and twist to the right, circling the right arm twice for this first round. And then from there, go ahead and step forward on your mat and come on back in to mountain pose. Adding on. Side bend to the left. Step your left foot back. Low lunge. Low lunge, twist to the right. One circle of the arm. And now crescent lunge. So go ahead and bring that knee off the ground. High crescent lunge. Breathe there, take an extra breath. And then step back forward onto your mat. Back to mountain pose. Side bend. Again, here we go. This should be familiar by now. To the left. Step that left foot back into your low lunge. Do your low lunge twist to the right, circling that arm once. Go ahead and do your high lunge there. You know where we're going now, so you can go either your warrior three is going to be either supported or unsupported. I'm going to go unsupported this time. Step forward. Find that point in front of you if you're doing unsupported. If not, use what you need. And then drop that foot back down next to the right, back to mountain. Two more poses to add on. We're going to do one at a time though. So again, this should be really familiar by now. Side bend to the left. Low lunge. Low lunge, twist to the right. High lunge. Warrior three, unsupported or supported. And then your curtsy squat. Tap that left knee to meet that right behind the right knee. Open back up, come back to your mountain. And then one last pose we're going to add on. That will be the full sequence. Side bend to your left. Low lunge, stepping your left foot back. Low lunge, twist to the right. High lunge. Come on up. Make sure you're breathing. Exhale, come forward into your warrior three. Curtsy squat. Hold your balance there. And then sit on down with your right leg, right foot coming over the left. Sit up nice and tall. Now we're going to twist to the right. Catch your breath there for a minute. So now we went through the whole sequence. And then go ahead and do the opposite here, opposite twist to the left. And you should feel you've got a little blood pumping, a little bit of movement going there. I'm going to do a quick time check, and I think we'll have enough time. Yes, we do. We're going to go through the whole sequence in order, one time on each side. So we're going to do it all together instead of adding on each time. So this time will just be the whole flow all the way through. So here we go. Mountain pose, we'll go to the right side first. Side bend to the right. Step the right foot back, low lunge. Low lunge twist to the left. High lunge. Warrior 3, supported or unsupported. I'm going supported this time. And then come into your curtsy squat. Tap those knees together. And then lastly, sit back down gracefully-ish. And come into your twist to the left. We're going to stay here for a couple breaths. And just feel into that for a moment. Right now there's a really nice breeze that just came through, and that feels really good. And then let's go the opposite twist to the left. I'm sorry, to the right. And we'll come back up to the top of our mat for the final round on the left side. Arrive in mountain. Side bend to the left. I just did it wrong. Let's do that again. Side bend to the left. You probably were doing it right. Left leg back. Come into your low lunge. If you did it right, good for you. I messed up my right and left there. Low lunge twist to the right. High lunge. Warrior 3, supported or unsupported. Curtsy squat there, a little tap of the knees, and then you're done with your balance challenge, and now, gracefully as can be, come to your seat and twist to the right and catch your breath. And let's do the counter twist, going to the left. And release all that down. So now you have completed the entire ladder flow. And this is a chance where if you wanted to make this class longer, you have the opportunity to go through that all over again. More than once, you could go through several times if you felt like it, or you could do it just once or twice. Or you could do it where you add each pose on, or you could just do the whole flow. So now once you've added the poses on, then you could go through the flow, and you could do that more than once, like I said, several times. And now you've added on to your yoga class and made it longer. I'm not gonna do that here just for the interest of time, but you could always like start the video over again if you wanted to, or whatever. So we'll just finish just cross-seated here for a minute, cross-legged I should say. I hope that you found this class to be helpful in moving your body and moving the energy through, and hopefully you feel a little bit more energized, and maybe you feel like doing another round on each side, so go for it. But otherwise, thank you for joining me. You always have the option, as always, to lie back in Shavasana to end your class. I highly recommend you do that if you have the time. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.